Good morning, welcome to your phonics for Thursday the 7th of January. Let's get started. So today we're going to be moving on to looking at phase 4 phonics. Now phase 4 phonics is where we are applying our sounds to longer words and longer sentences. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is looking at something called a CVCC word. Okay, so that's a 4-letter word. And it's made up of a consonant, then a vowel, and then 2 consonants at the end. Okay, so let's have a look at this word on the screen. This word has only got 3 letters. This is a CVC word, which is what we've done lots of in phase 3. So I'm going to start by adding my sound buttons to my word. So now on the screen, this word has sound buttons, and we're going to have a go at sound talking it together. So it says t, n, 10. Okay, now we're going to change this word by now adding another sound on the end of the word. So I've added a t on the end. I'm going to add my sound button, and now what we're going to do is we're going to try and add that sound to the word that we already know. So we're going to blend the sounds one at a time. So the first sound says t, then we're going to add the next sound t, 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 n, t, n, and then finally it's going to say t, n, t, tent. Fantastic. Okay, so making a longer word, we need to make sure that we sound out every sound to be able to have the correct word. Okay, so that means if you need to slow it down like we just did and say individual sounds to build up to the full word, then that's going to be how we read these words. Okay, so let's have a look at another one together on the screen. So we've got another 3-letter word that we're going to have a go at sounding together. So let's start with that first sound. It says b, b, be, b, n, ben, ben. So we've now read the word ben, and we're going to add another sound on the end to change that to a CVCC word. So I've added the sound d on the end, and we're going to add that sound button. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and read those words, those sounds together. So let's say the first sound on its own, it says b. Now let's say the first 2 sounds, b, be, b, n, ben. Now let's say 4 sounds, b, nd, bend. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a go one more time together, and then we're going to have a look at some of these words on our own. So let's have a go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the screen, and I want you to have a go on your own at reading just these 3 sounds now, okay? And then we're going to add the 4th sound to make a CVCC word. Okay, have a go at reading this 3-letter word now. Fantastic. Okay, let's do it together. We're looking at that first sound and the second sound, d, da. Let's do all 3 sounds, d, damn. Okay, so we now know what the 3-letter word says. Let's add an extra letter on the end. So now we have a CVCC word, and let's do that again on your own now. Have a go at reading this word. Fantastic. So let's have a go at doing that together. Let's have a look at those first 2 sounds. D, da. Let's do the first 3 sounds. D, damn. Now let's add that last sound. D, damp. Damp. That's when something's a little bit wet. It feels damp. Your clothes might be damp when they come out of the washing machine. So we've now been reading CVCC words. Now remember, if you are struggling, then do the first 3 sounds, read that, then add the last sound on the end. Okay? So we're going to have a go at reading a sentence now together. Some of these sentences are a little bit longer. If it helps you, then you can pause the video, write the sentence on the piece of paper in front of you so that you can put sound buttons on so that you can blend these words more easily on your own. Okay? So, if you want to copy it down, then pause the video now. When you have copied it down, what we're going to be looking at is adding our sound buttons onto this word, onto these words in this sentence, and then reading our sentence. Okay, so the first word we've got a sound button. We need to add our sound buttons to the word at the bottom. Okay, so this one has got 4 sound buttons because it's a CVCC word. We've got our next word has 2 sound buttons. Then we're looking at our next word. We're going to have g, d. So that's got a sausage because it's a digraph. And that's another digraph there. Fantastic. So let's just keep going all the way through. We're being our digraph detectives, aren't we? We're spotting those digraphs and adding those sausages. If not, it's got a bean under it for single sounds. Okay, so yours should look a little bit like mine now, with our sound buttons, our beans for single sounds, and our sausages for digraphs. And when you're ready, we're going to have a go at reading this together. Okay, so you might just be looking at mine on the screen, or you may have your own in front of you. Now remember, your finger is really helpful to press those sound buttons as you go along and blend each word. So let's start with that first word on the screen. Okay, it says m, I, mill, ilk, milk. So we know the first word is milk. So let's move on. Now, as we read the sentence, we are blending each word to be able to read the word, but we also have to remember that when we read a sentence, when you've blended a new word, it's a really good idea to go back to the beginning of the sentence and say the words we have already blended so that at the end we know our sentence. Okay? So we know the first word is milk. Let's have a look at the next word. Is. So milk is. Well done. Let's have a look at that next word. D. Good. Milk is good. What's that digraph? I wonder if you can remember. Have a look at the O and the What do they say when they're together? Fantastic. It's or. So let's have a look. Or, for. Milk is good for. Let's have a look at the next word. This has got 2 digraphs in it. I wonder if you can read this word on your own now. Have a go at this word here, starting with the t, and see if you can work out what it says. Fantastic. Let's have a look together. It says teeth. Milk is good for teeth. And gum, gums. So milk is good for teeth and gums. There were lots of words there for us to read, so well done, fantastic job. Now remember that you need to be making sure that you're blending the words to be able to read the word and repeating the words in the sentence so that we can read the sentence. Okay, so there's lots of skills for us to practice here today. Let's have another look at another sentence now. So this one is going to be having a look as well. So if you want to copy it down so you can add your own sound buttons, then please do that now. Remember to pause the video and have a little bit of time to add those sound buttons. When you've copied it down and you can have a go at adding your own sound buttons, remember you are looking for your digraph within the word to underline it, and if not, you're just adding the sound buttons. Okay, so let's have a look at this together. We've got one sound button here. There's no digraphs in this word, so it's going to be 4 beans. Now in the next word there is a digraph at the end of the word, so I'm going to add a sausage. There's no digraphs in the next words. No digraph in the next word. I'm going to keep going. Now we've come across a tricky word here, so I'm going to have a circle around my tricky word because we know that we can't sound that word out. Okay, that is just the tricky word that we need to know. And the final word has a digraph in the middle. Fantastic. So when you've added all your sound buttons and you're ready, let's have a go at reading this sentence together. So it says a, t, e, n, 10, t, e, n, t, tent, a tent, w, I, l, will, a tent will, g, et, get, a tent will get, d, a, da, d, a, dam, d, am, damp. A tent will get damp. In, a tent will get damp. In, this is our tricky word, in the, what's this digraph here? Have a think, see if you can remember what an a and an I say when they're together. Have a go at reading that word. Fantastic. Rain. A tent will get damp in the rain. Fantastic job, well done. That was really, really good. So today there is a worksheet for you to do. You can find it on the home learning pages on the website. In this worksheet today, I am asking you to have a go at reading some of the CVCC words and having a look at the pictures. So it says start by adding the sound buttons to the words and then have a go at blending the sounds together. So just like we did when we were reading the sentence, you're going to add those sound buttons. So you're going to add those sound buttons. Now, our CVCC words don't normally have digraphs. There is one that has a tricky digraph at the end here, okay? So have a go at adding your sound buttons. Most of them are going to be just 4 beans, okay? So 4 dots with the sounds. Now remember, as you go through, blend the individual sounds together until you can read the whole word. So o, og, frog. Okay, when you've done that, you're going to draw a line from your word and circle the picture. Okay, so you've found the frog. When you have done all of the words on here, there is a challenge at the bottom. It says, can you spell a word to match one of the pictures? Okay, because not every picture will have a word. So one of the pictures that doesn't have a word is here. This is a crab. A crab. Now have a go at saying a word really slowly to hit all of the sounds, and then have a go, and you can add it to your sheet and write ab, crab, okay? Or there's lots of other ones that you could have a go at on this sheet. Okay, so I hope you have a good go at that, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more phonics. Bye.